Good morning, everybody. We are here with Know-Hows of Real Estate. We are looking today to talk a little bit about our home warranty in the purchase contract. And so we have invited a really special gentleman from the home warranty world out there, knowing Ryan for a couple of years now, and worked with him a couple of times. And so without further ado, Mr. Ryan Wright with Elevate HomeScriptions, correct?
Yay.
That's correct. You nailed it, Kevin. Thank you for the kind introduction. And let's go easy on the special part. My mom used to tell me I'm special just like everybody else. So I don't know what that means, but
my mom said the same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Special nonetheless.
And also with us today, we've got my co-host and editor and producer of this Know-Hows of Real Estate show, Mike Stensrud. Good morning, Mr. Mike.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Ryan. Top of the morning. This is the earliest we've ever done it.
Yeah, we're up and at 'em today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Let's get into the show. I'm interested in this one too. So, Ryan, your first question: what is home warranty? What is it? Do we need it?
That's a great question, Mike. Great way to kick it off. And I think there is sometimes some confusion around just based on conversations I have with homeowners. Like, does this cover when my house floods, or when there's a fire, or when the roof blows off? And it is a little bit different than homeowners insurance, right? A home warranty really is to protect the things of a mechanical nature, or warrant, I should say, the things of a mechanical nature within your home. So a great generalization that I like to use is anything that has water or electricity running through it. That's what we cover. So things that break down due to normal wear and tear, such as the air conditioner, the water heater, dishwasher, stove, microwave, garbage disposal, garage door opener, those mechanical things within the home that break down due to normal wear and tear. Whereas homeowners insurance, a simple way to remember that is really that's kind of anything that affects the home due to an act of nature, right? Or It could potentially be a flood or something within the home. Let's say a pipe bursts within the home. Home warranty would come in and cover the repair of that pipe, but your homeowner's insurance would likely cover the secondary damage, like the floors that were damaged as a result of that flood, drywall, things like that. Yeah. So secondary damage is typically your homeowner's insurance, and then the repair itself is typically home warranty.
Great. Thanks for clarifying that. Kevin?
So, Mr. Ryan, we've got a buyer and a seller, and we're going to, on the purchase contract, there's a little section in there that says who's going to pay for the home warranty. The buyer agent that's writing the contract, making an offer, can either check a box that says the seller will pay, the buyer will order, and or they can decline it. So what should happen in this purchase contract? Does it really matter to the home warranty company who's going to pay it, or who's going to go forward with on the purchase contract?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kevin. This is actually my favorite part of the whole contract, so I know it well. Line 294. Please consider Elevate HomeScriptions on line 294. But yeah, that's a great question, because I do get asked that quite a bit, right? And so oftentimes a homeowner will say, well, I'm paying part of it, and then the seller's paying part of it, or I'm paying all of it, or whatever the case may be. But really, for us, we just need the pertinent details of the buyer or seller of that property. And then we send an invoice directly to title, and title kind of sorts that out with the numbers on their end. So everything's negotiable, right? So it can be part or some or none or all of either party. And so that really makes just not a ton of difference to us, other than we'll send the invoice to title, and title kind of sorts that out on their end. Yeah, great question.
Is there any typical terms of a home warranty in the contract? So you just said that title will kind of straighten it out on which column it's going to hit in the settlement statement. But once that is agreed upon, what are the conditions? What should that buyer that's probably purchasing the property do after the contract has been recorded?
Um, this probably differs based on the home warranty company, but for us particularly, it's kind of their time to just sit back because we reach out to them. We give the homeowner a call within 2-3 days of closing escrow, and we just let them know, like, hey, your home warranty's with us. This is the coverage you have. We give them kind of a high level. We send off a copy of their contract, and then we also ask them, here's some ancillary services we offer. Would you like the home rekeyed? We do carpet cleaning, we do house cleaning. Any of those services before you move in are things we can take care of. So we really have a proactive approach around the onboarding, if you will, of that homeowner. And and I don't know that that happens everywhere, but it sure happens with us. And we want them to know that they have a home warranty, so they know that to call us if anything does break down within the home.
Yeah. Now, going back to this inspection period, so they do the inspection, and there is a home warranty on it. The seller's going to probably pay the buyer or pay for the home warranty first year for the buyer.
Sure.
And we do the inspection. Is there any requirements there that the inspection has to have, that either when they take recordation, they take ownership of the home, and maybe 2 months down the road, the air conditioner goes out? Is there any requirements during the home inspection that the home warranty company has to have, or once that is purchased and everything's working at the time of recordation, so then what requirements are needed there?
Yeah, great question, Kevin. So this is a piece that sometimes can create some trickiness as it relates to home warranty or the purchase of a home, and I think there's a lot of feedback around this topic specifically. So I'll spend a little bit of time on this. Hopefully that's okay. But I like to share it like this. So really, there's kind of pre-existing conditions is a term we're aware of, right? Whether it's from medical or not often in car insurance. Often we hear about it in the medical world, but a pre-existing condition, as far as we're concerned, the home warranty, there's two types, right? There's known pre-existing conditions. So those are the things that come up on the inspection report, right? Maybe the temperature split on the AC was bad. Maybe I just had an inspection report I looked at the other day that the temperature split was 13 degrees. A good temp split on an air conditioner is 15 to 22 degrees. So if it's even 1 degree outside that range, there's likely an issue with that air conditioning unit. So that's a known pre-existing condition at that point because it's been uncovered on inspection. So I don't know a home warranty company out there that covers a known pre-existing condition, right? So we want to have those items repaired, whether we're asking the seller for concessions or letting the buyer know, like, hey, this is probably something we're coming out of pocket on because it's already called out. So be prepared to replace that. If the seller's not going to take care of it, home warranty is likely not going to cover it because it's a known pre-existing condition. And then where home warranty really, especially with Elevate for sure, where we really have your back is on those unknown pre-existing conditions, right? So those are things that we inherit as a result of purchasing the property. We've done our due diligence, we've had the inspection, and the reason we inherit those things is, inspectors aren't required ASHI standards propose that they're required to do a simple mechanical test, right? That's an on and off test. They're not removing panels. They're not taking things apart. They're doing a simple mechanical test and a visual inspection. So I'm talking with my hands. I'm so sorry. But yeah, they do a visual inspection, and so they're not going to catch everything, and they're not required to, right? They're doing their job exactly how they're supposed to. So inherently, there's some things that come with the property that maybe were not uncovered. So that's what home warranty has your back on. So known pre-existing conditions, please have those repaired. Unknown stuff, we got your back no matter what. And I like to say our policy starts the day the inspection occurred, because if for some reason, let's say in your example, someone moves into the home and they have an issue, 2 months down the road, we're probably not asking to look at that inspection report. But if it's day 2 of moving in, we might say, that's pretty close to the close of escrow. Was it called out on inspection? And then we might take a look at that. But as long as it's working when the policy starts, it's covered. That's the easiest way to remember that. If it's working when the policy starts, it's covered and we're good. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yep, very good.
Yeah. I have a question just on, we covered some of this already on benefits and coverage, but when you work with buyers and sellers, and what is the biggest misconception about home warranty? Let's just talk about coverage. Like, were there 2 or 3 things that you're constantly getting from people? Like, what are they?
Yeah, so I think one of the things I hear often is, oh, don't worry, the home warranty will cover it, right? And it's assumed a blanket coverage of everything, right? Oh, don't worry, the home warranty will cover it, and then we get in a pickle because that maybe isn't necessarily a warranty item. And so I'd say probably the biggest misconception is that we just blanket cover everything in the home, and really what it's intended for is mechanical things, right? Like one of the things I'll get questions on is, are the windows covered? Like, is the seal around the windows covered? No, that's not really a home warranty item, right? Just nuances like that, and really,
Yeah.
it's just mechanical things that break down due to normal wear and tear, right? So, refrigerator, washer, dryer, right? All of the components within the home that keep it functioning, but not really the ancillary stuff.
So we just stick to that, the mechanical.
Yeah,
You'll be
yeah.
safe, right?
It's a great question. And then the other piece is, I guess, like to piggyback on that, Mike, is sometimes there's maintenance items, right? Like things that are, what's a good example? So let's say we have a pool and there's pool coverage and there's
Yeah.
a little creepy crawly thing that goes around and cleans the pool. That's really a maintenance component, right? So that's generally not covered. The pool light, that's also just generally not covered. So we're thinking of the pump, the filter, the timer, above ground plumbing, electrical, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. For people with pools, we have one too. So I did not know that. So that's good.
So, hey, Ryan, how about negotiations? I know you got about 3 different levels of types of home warranties.
Yeah.
Is it square footage, or is it like in the areas we work? There's a property called apartment flats, Gemini twins, single
Yeah.
family homes. When you're negotiating with, if we have the buyer and you're negotiating with the seller to pay a home warranty, is there, what type of coverage should be? I know you got about 3 different ones that cover from just a few things to everything it covers.
Yeah. Yeah. Great question, Kevin. So generally, I would say one of the first questions I ask is how many square feet. We don't necessarily price on square feet. If it's between 1,000, if it's under 4,000 square feet, the pricing is the same essentially. The exception is if it goes under 1,500 square feet, which I think that Gemini is like an 1,140 square foot, something like that. But if it's under that, then there's a little bit of a discount. But what I like to ask is how many square feet, because that gives me an idea of what coverage would be perfect for them. And then my second question is almost always, does the washer, dryer, and fridge convey? Does it come with the sale of the home? And most of the time, especially in the Sun Cities, it does. The washer, dryer, and fridge does come with the sale of the home. So I really like just our middle plan. If we're under 2,000 square feet, our middle plan is perfect. It includes washer, dryer, fridge. And then if we're north of 2,000 square feet, that's when I typically recommend bumping up to the higher coverage. Things are there's just a little more nuances to those types of homes is what we find. And a little more coverage is helpful.
What about the pre-listing home inspections? Do you guys have something like that too? To once it goes
Yeah.
under contract, the seller actually can go ahead and get the home warranty, and then when escrow closes, pay for it. Correct?
Yeah, this is such a like soapbox item for me, Kevin, if you will. I love the listing coverage. It does so much just to, excuse me, just to protect the seller, protect the buyer, protect the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, right? It's just a mitigation of risk. And I think not enough people use it. But if you look at like just looking at our contract, right? And the version I have might be old, but it's generally section 1G, where it talks about fixtures and personal property, all of those items with the home. And it lists like there's bullet points of like 50 items. Well, 65% of those listed items are covered under a home warranty. So if you can get that exposure mitigated uh, just by putting listing coverage on, oh, it's so beneficial. And listing coverage is such a great thing because the seller pays absolutely nothing out of pocket. They're covered for up to 6 months. We don't collect any funds up front. And then the agreement is the handshake deal is they purchase a 1 year policy for the buyer at close of escrow. So number one, the seller's covered if anything breaks while it's listed, uh, and and uh, and number two, we get to market it as the property including a home warranty. So if there's any reservations about that home being a resale home, we have items that are covered, and that home warranty goes with the property. The next buyer gets a full 1 year of coverage from close of escrow date forward. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's such a great product and costs the seller nothing. And all it does is mitigate risk for everybody involved.
Yeah. I'd like to maybe go back just a second to that one question because every time as an agent, I think when you are discussing either with the seller or the buyer getting a home warranty, everybody just kind of has that conception that, well, if I get a home warranty and something goes wrong, they're going to replace everything. But you're not going to replace a air conditioner or some plumbing issues or something like that. There might be a reduction maybe in costs as far as using your home warranty first, and then if it doesn't work out, maybe go out and get a vendor that's for that specific issue and see what's going on. But home warranties, replacing it isn't free.
Yeah, yeah, such a great point, Kevin. There can be out of pocket expenses when replacing an AC unit, and I've read all the contract language around home warranty, and generally what you find is there's just nuances, pieces that are not part of the coverage, right? So the homeowner could have some out of pocket. When we do a full replacement, I would guess maybe it's anywhere from $500 to $700, maybe $500 to $800, but so the big chunk of that item is covered, but some of it isn't. And what I would say too is just to touch on that a little bit more, we try to home warranty generally is going to attempt a repair, right? And if it can't be repaired, we would replace it. But the paradigm we run that thought process through is what would a reasonable and prudent homeowner do in this situation? In other words, like to use a maybe a car example, like if your car had the tires were wearing down, you went to discount to get some air in the tires, and they said, "Hey, you're at 2/32 of whatever tread left, and you're going to need new tires." Like, would you go out and sell the car and buy a new car because you need new tires? Probably not, right? Like, you're probably doing $1,000 repair or put new tires on for $1,000 and get another 40,000 miles out of that car. But the same is true. Like when we look at a home, and I think one of the ancillary benefits to home warranty that nobody talks about is kind of exactly what you brought up, Kevin. In that sometimes a repair is the prudent thing to do, right? There's air conditioning companies now that have sales reps accompany their technicians. So when they go out on the job, almost 99% of the time, oh, it needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced, right? And they'll start at 20 grand. Okay, 17 grand, 15 grand, right? And they just keep like,
Yeah.
if the homeowner balks, they just reduce that price. And so this can protect from some of that too. And oftentimes there's almost there's very few items that can't be repaired on an air conditioning unit. Um, But when something like the condensing unit, that big unit outside on the ground, if that goes, you kind of replace the whole thing. So there is times that a full replacement is necessary, but often a repair can be done. And so would a reasonable and prudent homeowner pay $800 to have this repair done if they knew they could get another 10 years out of the home? And guess what? What's the average amount of time a homeowner spends in a home, Kevin? What's the the data
Probably about
around that more than I do.
7 to 8 years, maybe.
Yeah, so like if you're in year 5 and this repair will get you another 10 years, chances are you're not even going to be in the home. So a repair is it can often be prudent. But yeah, to answer your question, there are sometimes out of pockets when we do a full replacement, but the majority of repairs are 100% covered, and the majority of repairs are get you a lot more life out of that AC unit. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I got a quick question here, just along that line. Now, when you do explain all that, if you're shopping around and you're looking, there's a lot of home warranty companies. What should I be looking for?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, Mike, is yes, check the AC coverage, of course, and there's fine print and there's practices that happen that don't show up in the brochure, right? Like how a contractor is paid, how often they're paid, how quickly they're paid. All of these things result in like directly affect the customer experience.
Yeah.
But I would say try giving them a call and try if you can get through to someone quickly, you'll know, hey, when I'm in an urgent situation, chances are I'll still be able to get through, right? If you're calling just to get information and it's taking you're on hold for 30 minutes and then you talk to somebody who you can barely understand or they can't answer your questions, to me, that's a red flag.
Yep.
I try to my litmus test is like, would I let my grandmother have my home warranty on her home, right? And so like she needs to be able to use it easily, have her questions answered clearly, not have any confusion. And so like I feel confident referring my grandmother to Elevate, right? And there's some others maybe I wouldn't, but I would say maybe try just giving them a call before you select that home warranty. See if you get through, see if they're helpful, see if they're kind, courteous, can answer your questions. Because when the proverbial hits the fan and they have an issue and they need to call, like that's the experience that's probably pretty similar to what they're going to get when something does break.
Absolutely right. Service is king in this area. So that's good advice. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you bet.
Speaking of that service, now Elevate HomeScriptions has vendors they work with. How do you choose your vendor out there and say, well, we're going to have XYZ come out and take a look? How do you guys choose your vendors on a home warranty side of it?
Yeah, great question, Kevin. And this is such a hot button topic for me as well. And I think we do it so differently. But generally, sometimes you'll hear home warranty reps brag like, "Oh, we have 100 different contractors in every different field," and it sounds good on paper, but when you can only send that contractor 1 or 2 appointments a year, guess what? You're not a priority. Like that contractor's not prioritizing your work. They'll kick the can down the road on your work and go do the retail work. But our vetting process generally starts online, right? We're checking their Google reviews. We're seeing how well they perform in their day-to-day work. And then next is we want to interview them. We sit down, we have a conversation with them. We meet with these guys once a month just to see how their business is going, if there's anything we can help with, or maybe some nudges in some other directions on their end. So it really starts with online, and then it gets more intimate and we get to know them. We want to be about 25% of our contractors' business so that we can call on favors when we need them. And then we also then send them a significant amount of business when it's required. But yeah, starts online. We have regular follow-up conversations with them, and we actually pay them different too, right? Like most home warranty says flat rate $200. Whether you're there 5 minutes or 5 hours, you get $200 to do the job. Well, that doesn't. As soon as that contractor shows up, he knows like I need to be in and out here, get my pay, and we'll be done. And it just doesn't make for a great homeowner experience. So we pay the contractor by the job that they do. So they're incentivized to find kind of a deeper root issue, which makes such a big difference. And then we also pay them within like 7 days. So a happy contractor is generally a happy experience for the homeowner. And every single call that we run, we survey that contractor. We ask the homeowner to say, hey, how did they do? Were they good? Were they bad? And those we take very seriously if there are any challenges, and we address them right away. So yeah, the
Yeah, I
contract
think
is such an important part.
Yeah, I think that's very important because they don't really look at they think they're employed by you.
Yeah.
Because your name is on the contract. Your name is on all the information we give them. We give them your folder and just say, here's what's covered and everything. But, if you get somebody out there that's got does a bad job, I mean, it's your name, not theirs.
That's right. And guess what? It's our brand at Elevate. It's your brand, Kevin, as the realtor if you recommended them, right? So that contractor piece really has to be nailed. And that's an area that we don't skimp on. We are willing to take a little bit of a loss in that capacity just to make sure the homeowner has a better experience.
Yeah, good. Excellent.
Great. That's good.
Yeah, so we've been here with Ryan Wright with home warranties in the purchase contract today. And anything else there, Ryan, that you got that you want to give us a couple of minutes here? We got maybe about a minute and a half to wrap this up. Any words of wisdom?
I would just say, number one, like if it's working when the policy starts, it's covered. That's the general rule of thumb, and that'll keep you in good position 98% of the time. Number two, have a conversation with your home warranty rep, or encourage your clients to just call the home warranty rep directly. Like I love fielding those calls because then I can set expectations. So yeah, just have a rep. Hopefully it's me. If it's not, have a rep that you can have your clients reach out to and have a conversation with and explain the warranty and the nuances and the differences. And then also what I like to do too is just scrub inspection reports. Like I'm not sending them up the ladder. I'm not sending them to the company. Like let's just have an open dialogue. Like I had one the other day, a gal sent me the inspection report in the spring on the garage door was already broken. So, hey, let's have that fixed. Like it's not going to be a warranted item if it's already called out. So just little things like that, because really what we want is a perfect customer experience. And that's what leads to the golden ticket, which is referral for you guys as realtors, right? Because no matter what goes wrong, they're going to blame the realtor. So let's talk through that piece. And the home warranty is the one thing that stays with that homeowner for a full year after close of escrow. So it is kind of an important one. But yeah, I guess that's my 2 cents. And obviously I'm biased, but
Yeah, that's great.
No, I think that's great because that's one reason why we've used you a lot as a rep, because it's so nice to be able to give that call to that rep and say, here's the situation. And I've learned a lot. I'm not a very good handyman or guy that knows how to do stuff as far as mechanical things and everything like that. But I've learned a lot from just giving you a buzz and talking to you about it and going to some of your little classes that you guys put on and everything too. So we appreciate all your efforts out there. Glad to see you in the home warranty field. What do you think there, Mr. Stensrud?
No, this is great. I'm like you. I can't fix anything. So, and I've had home warranties in the past and it was kind of confusing. So this has really been good for me too. So great job, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me on.
Yep. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you, Ryan Wright with Elevate HomeScriptions, and my trusty little co-host guy over there, Mr. Mike Stensrud. We appreciate everybody. Everybody have a great day out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Ryan.